phone for your business success. You won't regret it.
89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Efile Emma Yukuro, Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, Nibe Gongon Lewa. 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. Efile Emma Yukuro, Wells Radio, 89.3 FM, Nibe Gongon Lewa.
All right, studio time check says the time is 35 minutes gone past 6 a.m. Today is the 11th day of December 2025, and I am so excited. But let me welcome you first to the show Perspectives Unlimited right here on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio, your number one family radio in the whole of all your states. If you're tuning in for the first time, a cabo, welcome. You've come to the right place, okay? Because right here we're known for giving wholesome programs, not just wholesome programs, wholesome music, wholesome conversation, that gets you right where you should be. This morning it's Perspectives Unlimited, and we'll be taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. But much more than that, I'm so excited to talk about our Christmas fun fair. Today is the first day of the Wells Radio 89.3 FM Christmas Fun Fair for the year 2025. And I promise you, see how I'm excited, and I'm not a child, right? I'm extremely excited. Think of how much more excited your children will be. And guess what? We're not charging a lot because we want all children to come and have fun. 4,000 naira only. You can purchase your tickets at the gate. And also, there's going to be security on standby, so you don't have to worry about anything, right? So make your way here. If for any reason you've already had other plans for today, maybe you have to go to work, your child has to go to school, or whatever it is, tomorrow we're going to be at it again from around 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. And same on Saturday, which is the final day, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Okay, so I want to see you here, and I want to see your children here as well. Lots of games to be played, lots of prizes to be won. Of course, the gifts we're also going to give as well. Okay, that being said, welcome to Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. We're talking headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. I'll be your host on Perspectives Unlimited. This morning we'll be taking a look at the different dailies. I have in front of me the front page of the Punch newspaper, the Daily Trust newspaper, and the Guardian newspaper this morning. We'll be taking a look at the headlines on these three dailies, and we'll talk about some of the stories as time permits us to, talk about it. All right. So, let's get to it, straight to the point. We're also live on Facebook at Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. I'll take that again, Wells Radio 893 FM fan page. We're live at the moment. You can go watch us and drop your comments and feedback. Let's get to the Punch newspaper. The front page, the lead headline says federal government pushes for 17.89 trillion naira new loans to finance 2026 budget. The writer says borrowing jumps 72% as revenue dips by 8.67 trillion naira, debt servicing to gulp nearly half of 2026 earnings. More headlines. Tinubu tackles VIP police escort abuse, showing Kafol's Sheyi's entourage. That's on page 14. ECOWAS court, Nigeria tops countries ignoring judgments. That's on page 12. Senate screens more ambassadorial nominees. That's on page 14. U.S. Congress panels talk tough over Nigeria's IDP crisis. That story is on page 7. Alleged fraud. Ex-Minister Stella Odua arraigned and barred from foreign trips. That's on page 12. Osun 2026, Adeleke confident of victory after Accord ticket win. You find that story on page 12 of the Punch newspaper. PDP chaos. Wike Makinde forces revive war over INEC's nod. 30 states chairman, NAS heavyweights rally behind Turaki's leadership. You find that on page 2. And finally, federal government opens diplomatic talks with Burkina Faso over detained aircraft and soldiers. That story is on page 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Moving on to the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper, the lead headline says, banditry, noose tightens around Turji. That story is on the front page, continued on pages 3 and 4. More headlines, how family of 3 died in Lagos auto crash. That's really sad. You find that story on page 5. Reps summon Cardoso over unremitted 16.3 trillion naira. Further on page 10. EFCC compiles charges against Malami, that's on page 5. 32 Nigerians deported from India, that's on page 31 of the Daily Trust newspaper. 2027, defections heighten fear of single-party contest, that's on page 28. More headlines. Northern Governors Forum undertakes major reform, appoints first Director General. All right, that's a promotional story, but it's on the page 27 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. And on the front page of the Guardian newspaper, 54 taxes charges account for 35% of airfare costs, stifle traffic demand. That's on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. It says flying is getting really, really expensive because these 54 taxes and fees are spread across 4 major government agencies, the NCAA, FAA, NAMA, and the FIRS. And only 6 of these levies are directly visible to passengers. The remaining 48 are silently embedded into air ticket prices. We know that the prices of tickets now are almost times 3 of what they used to be, but we'll talk about that more on the show. More headlines. Kano lawyers petition Tinubu NSA over parallel Sharia body. That's on page 30. Nigeria's capital market losing $60 million to crypto and other virtual assets. That's on page 15. Ekiti spent 49.7 billion naira to build cargo airport, says Oyebanji. That's on page 5. Obasanjo tasks leaders on stronger institutions for national development. You find that story on page 30. This one says Buhari will account for 2015 Zaria massacre on Judgment Day, says El Zakzaki. That's on page 5. Human Rights Day 2025 concerns as Nigeria's worsening rights crisis prompts calls for reform. That story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. Okay, we'll also see this optimism as federal government anticipates Nigeria's exit from CPC list. That's on page 3 of the Guardian newspaper. Federal government sets up panel on 4 trillion naira outstanding old contractors. That's on page 7. So these and many more we're taking a look at on Perspectives Unlimited this morning. I want you to come with us. I want you to come along with us because it's going to be a very interesting conversation. Our analyst is right here, Mr. Olale Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning to you, madam.
How do you do?
I'm doing well. That's good. You're Nigerian this morning.
All right. You're welcome once again. Thank you so much for joining the show.
It is always an honor to be here.
Yes, sir. So a couple of things. I won't start on the notes that many are probably expecting this morning. I'll start with a story that sort of perplexed me when I heard about it yesterday, and it's on the Guardian newspaper, and on the front page, the headline reads: Federal government sets up panel on 4 trillion naira outstanding old contractors. So this was apparently after the FAC meeting, I believe, and the president's special advisor
on media communication strategy.
Yes, and strategy, Bayo Nonuga, then came to address men of the press. And I did watch the video, so I probably don't need to read the story out from the Guardian. And then he said that the president was, and there was a word he used, I'm going to use it. He said, in fact, he learned that the president was upset at the fact that about 2,000 contractors were being owed and had not been paid. And the president was wondering why they had not been paid if they had done their work. Mr. Son, my question to you this morning is very, very simple. Nigerians, talk about things all the time on social media, on TV, on radio. We say, oh, the president needs to do this. We do that all of the time. When there's an issue, some of the questions that myself and my other co-anchors on Perspectives Unlimited ask is, if you were to advise the president, right, what would you? But we know that there's only one president, and there's millions of news outlets out there. Maybe not millions in Nigeria, maybe thousands. It may be millions if you add print.
And even
and the bloggers,
yeah,
yes.
Right.
So, are we sure that all of these complaints we're making are really getting to the president, or are they stopping at certain desks and not getting to the president? And looking at that, can we then say that, we may not really blame the president, we would blame the people that are close to him, or the heads of these ministries, departments and agencies that are supposed to, who have heard these things and are supposed to work on them, because there's only so much that the president as an individual can do. So can we say that it's possible that the president, because the speech of Bayo Onuga yesterday made it clear that the president was not aware that about 2,000 contractors had not been paid, despite the fact that about 2 months ago, local contractors in Nigeria held a press conference that was aired on major TV stations in the country and on radio too, saying that they had not been paid, they didn't have money to pay their children's school fees. They used their last kobo to put together that press conference.
Thank you very much. To start with, in my opinion, Mr. Onuga is a shameless liar.
Why do you say
no
this?
way on earth the president is not going to be aware of what is happening, and I have my reasons for that. Who caused all of what's on the ground? I would say the president. This administration did something that I have never heard of in my life. They award a contract to you. The normal thing is to mobilize. That's
mobilization fee.
Yes, they give you between 25 and 50% of the total project cost for you to, deploy machinery and all of that. But this administration came up with something never before heard of, that they are not going to pay you a dime, that rather you will use your own money for mobilization and even for the real construction, if it's about road construction, stuff like that, that you will have to work up to 30% of the total project before they give you a kobo. Was the president sleeping when he said that, when his administration said that? Of course not, he wasn't sleeping. It was something jointly decided at the Federal Executive Council meeting. So it is the policy of this administration to impoverish and starve contractors, in my own opinion. You said that they held a press conference. That's the list of what they did. They went to the Federal Ministry of Finance
about 3 days ago to protest.
They went to the National Assembly to protest. Federal Secretariat. I want to put a question to you. You should be the one asking me questions, but I want to put a question to you. If you are in Mr. Onuga's shoes, and these people have been protesting for months, wouldn't you have called the attention of the president? Sir, something is happening that I don't understand. Is it the accountant general that is messing up, or the Ministry of Finance?
Which is why I said, is it possible that the people that surround the president have not been given
the president himself has children. My father cannot be the president. Something like this will be happening, and I'll tell him immediately, sir, something like this is happening. It's like some people want to, create a mess for you. Let's just cut it. I have explained to you in clear English now that it is the policy of this administration to make sure that they are not going to pay contractors a penny until they have worked up to between 30 and 50%. So if that's the case, who do you hold responsible if not the president himself? Because it is the policy of this administration. If the president were to be a serious person, in my opinion, the first thing to do is to mobilize. I have given you 30% of everything that you need. At the point the person exhausts 25%, you do project inspection. Have they actually carried out 25% of the 30% I have already given them? If that's the case, then you give them more money, another 25%. That's how it's done.
Now, Mr. Bayo Onuga has said that the president wants a one-stop, or is it one-step solution? One-stop solution. That's his words. He said the president was not happy about it, and he wants a one-stop solution.
Should I tell you what
Even going as far as saying that he doesn't mind borrowing.
That is exactly.
So the question for me is, all of these contracts were
awarded by the federal government
and awarded. So does it mean that there was no plan for its
payment?
Because it's just like I hire you and then I don't have plans to pay you.
At the point of, okay, let me go and borrow from my neighbor before I pay you. That's exactly
so
what
is it that money, there was no money, earmarked for this?
It's not a matter of there was no money or there is no money. Nigeria is extremely rich.
No, I'm not even talking about maybe we're poor or broke. Was it that at the point at which these contracts were given out, there was no money earmarked from whatever
the
ministry.
truth of the matter is that they did not even have it in mind to award any contracts. It's just like, okay, the people are going to complete, we don't do anything. Let's tell them we have awarded this. Some contractors, ran. The moment where the federal government told you that they were not going to give you a penny to start the project, you should have known that they are not serious. As a contractor, I will not take that job because it shows clearly that they are not interested in paying. If they are interested in paying and executing that project, they will pay you. They will pay you. Rather, there are strategies that the federal government uses. If you pay somebody, you can attach it, you can embed it in part of the project papers that this company is not going to be paying any individual from the account of this company. It's only going to be suppliers and all of that, so that you ensure that the company doesn't mess with your funds. Do you get what I'm trying to say? But at the point where they told us point blank that they were not going to pay a penny, any reasonable contractor would. I can tell you, Julius Berger is not going to be part of this because
let's
they
talk
understand
about
the process too well.
dichotomy between or dichotomy, depending on whichever way, between foreign contractors and because these people protesting are local contractors.
Yes, they did.
So let's talk about the stark difference between the treatment of local contractors and foreign contractors. When the president came into power, and this road in this coastal highway, and we learned that they were going to pay upfront
1 trillion
to a contractor that hadn't exactly really worked for the government before.
And they paid 1 trillion naira up front.
What, this is taking us a bit further.
No, ma, let me even say something here. I don't even see high tech as a foreign contractor. I don't see it as a foreign company. It is a company only owned by a Nigerian who is only using a foreigner out front. And the owner of high tech is somebody all of us. In fact, I mentioned his name here today. When you wanted to award a contract to a company allegedly owned by people around you, that you have even opened your mouth to say, this is my partner in daring. A lot of people have said that it's the president himself who owns high tech. That's not what we are talking about. What is established is that his son is a director on one of the boards of companies related to high tech. Let's now go into the details. You wanted to open up. For me, Lagos Calabar is not for Nigerians. It's just for you. It's just for the president and his partner in daring, because Eko Atlantic was a mess. Nobody was going there because there was no serious access roads. You now wanted to open up an access road. You now linked it up with Lagos Calabar. And before anything, you gave them 1 whooping trillion naira.
So the question is, what's this difference in treatment?
See, it's not about difference in
for
treatment.
our local contractors.
But see, iTech is a local company. It's just about preference. I want to satisfy my personal interest. Take 1 trillion before you even move a shovel to the site. But if it's Ibadan to Ilesha or Obdomosho to Ilorin, go and use your 30% to start. That tells you clearly that the president is not just serious.
Should we be borrowing?
We should not be borrowing.
And do you think that Nigeria can look inwards and find this 1.5 billion naira that is being
1.5?
That's what they said.
No, it's actually 4 trillion. 4 trillion. 4 trillion. 1 billion in 4,000 places. That is what they hold. What I'm now saying is this. Last year, the NNPC came out boldly to tell us that they spent 17.5 trillion on pipeline, security. That is something that my brain cannot process. It is a whole lie, not half lie, a whole lie. With just 4 trillion, you would have paid all contractors, all local contractors. You would have made at least 2,000 contractors, if I'm not mistaken. You would have made 2,000 companies, maybe 200,000 families happy. You didn't do that. Rather, you said you are using public money to protect public assets, something that is actually the core mandate of the NSCDC. You did not give the NSCDC 1 penny. Rather, you gave all of that money to private contractors. And you are now saying that you are broke.
And they're being well paid and reimbursed.
Oh, God. There is one of them that, if the president sneezes today, he does adverts on the front page.
Security.
I should tell you that one page on the front, an advert on the front page is 10 million naira, and that was even like 5 years ago. And this guy does that on at least 10 dailies anytime it feels like he needs to greet the president's wife, the president's son, whatever. That's what I'm trying to say. That 17.5 trillion is more than enough to ensure that you fix all the projects in Nigeria without borrowing a dime. But the president won't do that. Rather, in my opinion, they would rather divert it to something that doesn't make sense.
The president is also planning, or the federal government in this case.
The president is the federal government. That's the truth.
Is also planning to borrow about 17.89 trillion naira in 2026 to fund what they say is a widening budget deficit as revenue projections fall sharply below expenditure needs, according to the 2026 budget framework obtained from the Budget Office of the Federation.
The very first thing is this: why not cut your cloth according to your cloth?
So, as you've said, Nigeria is not broke. It's not like we don't have any money.
Nigeria is not broke. We have more than enough money. What is bigger than the money that we have is the greed, GREED, of the people in power. That is it. If you are Nigeria is currently in massive debt. Any logical president at this particular point in time will do everything humanly possible to at least limit our debt, if not to drastically
They
reduce
say they're
it.
borrowing because, the revenue has been weak.
What I'm trying to say here is this: you don't need to have a very, very, very large budget for 2026. Cut it down. Instead of coming up with, now they are saying that 70% of the capital projects of 2025
should
are
be
going
moved
to
to
be
the
taken.
next year.
So the point now is this: what of the money that you allocated for that project in 2025? Where is the money? That is the question.
So can they use that same money to fund it in 2026?
That's just the point. And at that point, it's not going to be 2026.
How are we sure that
no,
this
at that
monies
point,
have been
it's not going
released?
to be a 2026 project. It's going to be a 2025 project.
Yeah.
Just that you cannot complete the project in 2025. We have paid for it. But, you can't. Rome wasn't built in a day. It takes time before they finish a road. But we do not have any problem whatsoever with finance.
That then raises questions again about our accountability.
That's just... See, the truth of the matter is that Nigeria has never been this poorly managed since 1960. Those in charge of this country at this particular point in time are not, in my opinion, they're not even pretending to care about Nigerians. They're not even pretending to care about Nigerians. That's just the truth of the matter. At this point, I weep for this country, sincerely.
All right. Many critics or many Nigerians have said that the country, just like you said, that the country has no business with trying to owe any more money.
I listened to the president yesterday. I don't listen to him anymore, I should say that. Because it doesn't make sense to me anytime I listen to him. I get hungry anytime I listen to him. And yesterday I was blaming myself. Look, why did you listen to this guy? He said he understands that his order to the police to stop VIP protection is being slowly implemented, and he wasn't happy about that.
Which brings me to the fact that we have just 2 minutes before we take a break. But one of the senators
Okay.
threw a fit yesterday
Nengi.
to say that, there's even favoritism in this thing. You're taking from some people. You're not taking from some people. And the president then reiterated that just before the NEC meeting started yesterday, that police should take, escorts should take from everybody. He then added a caveat that he knows that there's some people who are exposed. I'm using air quotes for those who are listening. He knows that there's some people who are exposed that he may give them. And this was just a day or two after Professor Wale Soyinka had also blasted the president.
Now. Let's go on break and come back later to finish.
All right, when we come back from the break, more conversations around that. We'll also be talking as well about the diplomatic talks with Burkina Faso over the detained aircraft and soldiers. We'll talk about the PDP chaos and many more if time permits us. So we'll take a short break on Perspectives Unlimited this morning, and when we come back, there will be more conversations. And of course, you'll also be able to weigh in. So don't go anywhere. This is Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Christ Ambassadors International College is a private, co-educational Christian day and boarding school located at Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. We offer a blend of Nigerian and British curricula designed to nurture global leaders with godly values. With world-class facilities, exciting co-curricular programs, exceptional pastoral care, and outstanding academic results, we ensure your child's dream becomes a reality. Our entrance examination for 2026-2027 academic session will hold on Saturday, 14th February 2026 at 8 a.m. For inquiries, please call 0704 530 8414 or 0814 177 2806 or visit www.christambassadorscollege.com. Christ Ambassadors International College, nurturing global and godly scholars.
The Financial Services Regulation Coordinating Committee, FSRCC, in collaboration with the National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, wishes to draw the attention of the public to the activities of illegal financial operators, IFOs, which threaten public trust and the stability of the Nigerian financial system. The general public is hereby advised to refrain from dealing with unlicensed financial operators who deceive individuals with unrealistically high investment returns. Verify the licensing status of such schemes on these websites: www.cbn.gov.ng, www.nicom.gov.ng, www.pencom.gov.ng, www.sec.gov.ng, www.fsrcc.gov.ng. To report any suspicions of illicit financial activities, call CBN 0817-665-7060, 0707-338-4828, SEC 0209-462-1168. Announcer, FSRCC.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Daddy, hear that music. Christmas is coming.
I can hear it too. Are you ready for this year's Christmas?
Only if I can meet Father Christmas for real. Not the cartoon, not the TV, but the real one.
So you want the real Father Christmas?
Yes, Daddy. The one that talks and laughs like ho ho ho.
Then get ready because we are going somewhere special this year.
Where? Tell me now.
Yes, Father Christmas is here again. It's the Wells Radio 89.3 FM Father Christmas Fiesta 2025. 3 beautiful days of joy, color, laughter, and unforgettable family moments. Date 11th, 12th, and 13th December 2025. Time 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. daily. Venue Wells Radio 89.3 FM, Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Bring your children for a heartwarming Christmas experience. Fun activities, exciting games, beautiful memories, and loads of gifts to be won. Gate fee 4,000 naira only. Tickets are now available for sale. You can now book in advance ahead of the event days. To reserve your ticket, please call 0903-936-8185. Sponsored by Juniors International and Christ Ambassadors International Group of Schools. schools, Zoe Specialist Mission Hospital, supported by Omoyo Property and Management Consult, Honeydew Restaurant, Oluyole, Ibadan, Chalk Boy, Comfort Kitchen, Alpha Photos, Challenge Ibadan, Jasper Creative, Big Apple Schools, Olukunle Junction, Ibadan, J Crown Stores, Orogun, Ibadan, Bamraj Food and Beverage Nigeria Limited, Leadway Victory School, Orogun, Ibadan, Olumes Dimes Plaza, Are Junction, Ibadan, Brunel Supermarket, Oluyole Estate, Friendly Top Filling Station, Oluyole Estate, Nella's Children's Palace, Live Right Store, Are Oluyole, Bankilola's Cuisine, Any Bread, Oluyole, Ibadan, Sami B Kiddies School, Obetodun Shawarma and Treats, Adioyo, Ring Road, Ibadan, BNF Creative Agency, One Taste Kitchen, Oluyole, Ibadan, Better Polythene Enterprises, Blissful International School, St. Anne's Cakes, Mary Old Foundation, United States, Iyalia Sawmill, Ibadan, Suwa Cakes, and JP Ugokem Nigerian Enterprises. Wells Radio Father Christmas Fiesta 2025, where the fun of Christmas becomes real.
Daddy, I can't wait to tell him my story.
And he's ready to hear it, my love. Boost your business with Wells Radio 89.3 FM. In a competitive world of business, strategic brand and product positioning is key to growth. Don't remain unseen in the shadows. Shine a spotlight on your brand with Wells Radio 89.3 FM today. Why Wells Radio? We are your state's #1 family radio station. We connect with the heart of families in your state. As the smallest unit of the society, families trust Wells Radio for quality content and information. Visit us today along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. Our white and blue building just before Sharp Corner ensures your business won't go unnoticed. Advertise with us today. Call our marketing office on 0903 936 8185. Call Toby on 0803 509 3394. Ayo on 0706 840-7359. Take the leap today. Let Wells Radio 89.3 FM be the megaphone for your business success. You won't regret it.
All right, you're welcome back. Studio time check says it's 9 minutes past 7 a.m. And it's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in the country, and it's your turn to contribute. We want your comments and your observations. The studio lines are open: 0916 893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. Now, before we went on the break, we were talking about the fact that the president has said that the police escorts should be removed from everyone, and that he knows that there's some people that are exposed. That was his words. I don't even know if we should play the audio. It's quite long. That he knows that there's some people that are exposed, and that if because of the nature of their assignments, they still need the police officers, they should contact the IGP and get the president's clearance. What do you think can contribute to a person being so exposed that this order should not apply to them?
In all seriousness, the president is not getting it right at all. There are some people you should not just dare expose. Judges. I learned that they have withdrawn.
Shouldn't the NSCDC be able to protect the judges?
Be it NSCDC, be it police, be it anybody, you should not expose judges. That's the point.
So but at least they should have someone guarding them, be it body can be NSCDC.
Yes, and I'm talking about people who are harmed. The truth of the matter is that I understand too well that police officers should not be doing bodyguard work, but for judges, I can permit that because they are doing a very, very serious job. There are people who can be attacked at any point in time. So we need our best hands to guard and protect them. That is it. As for what the president is saying, he said something about ministers as well. How do you have ministers and then you're going to have people who are going to guard them? It's not making sense to me. I mean, there are people who should naturally be exempted. I have been saying it here. I am not against protection for people who are currently working for the state, people holding one job or the other for the government. No. What infuriates me is seeing a retinue of police officers behind somebody who is not doing government work. That is not what. That is.
At several points in time, we've seen different videos that people have raged. We've seen videos of police officers carrying bags for
serving food.
VIPs.
Serving food. That is what I do not like. But if it's about ministers, judges, stuff like that, no, they should be protected because they are doing a pretty precarious job that can lead, that can bring harm to them.
Additionally,
what I'm saying here is this: ask me for the definition of hypocrisy, and I'll say doing two different things, quite opposite, when the same thing is on the table. If it's about other people who are not holding government work, withdraw police officers from them. But your son is not just about having police officers, it's about having a mobile barrack following him wherever he goes.
Which brings us to the conversation that Professor Wale
at this particular point in time, you can call the
told.
president a hypocrite because that is pure hypocrisy.
He did say. Now, are you saying that knowing who the president is, I mean, if you want to take down a strong man, you cannot reach him. Obviously, the logic is to go to the family. So that means that the family of presidents should be protected. But in Nigeria, we obviously don't have the office of the first son or first daughter or whatever.
Or even first
so
lady.
Where do we draw the line at?
The point is this: it is the mandate of. See, like I said, I was listening to the president yesterday, and I got very angry. He exposed himself as somebody who does not understand the workings of this country. He said, go to the NSCDC. The NSCDC is going to protect you. And that is not the job of the NSCDC. He said the NSC, office of the NSA, and the SSS should train forest. I mean, these are things that will that have exposed the president as someone who is thoroughly clueless as regards the workings of the country.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps
Okay.
is committed to protecting critical national infrastructure, ensuring community safety, and providing emergency response services across Nigeria.
Critical infrastructure, that's their first mandate. Pipelines, railway stations, railway tracks. I mean, these are the things that they are supposed to do. For Professor Wale Soyinka, in all seriousness, Nigerians should ask what happened. Sir, are you hungry because they withdrew your police security and you now saw bodyguards? Because he has been...
Are you saying he's not being sincere?
He has been defending the president all along. For him to now speak out at this particular point, I don't want to believe he is fighting for us, because if he is actually fighting for us, he would have been fighting for us long ago. I believe he's personally peeved that they withdrew his police escort. That's all I can see here, unless anything comes up with something contrary to what I have said. If he wasn't using any police escort and people close to him were not using police escort, then we may begin to process what he said. But if we cannot prove that something like that is on the table, I'm not going to dwell so much on what he said, because he had so very many opportunities to be on the side of the people, and he kept, in fact, he was even insulting us at some point. Nigerians asked him, sir, we know what you said to previous administrations. Sir, what is your view about this? Give me 1 year. When it's after 1 year, you may come back. I'll say one or two things. When it was 1 year, people ran to him to say, sir, what's your view? He said, I didn't swallow an alarm clock, so I'm not counting this, But now it's you are calling the NSA to say the president's son is... I mean, it's wrong for the president. Like I was saying, it is the mandate of the SSS to protect the president and his immediate family.
So it should be the SSS.
And when we are saying SSS, we are not talking about having 24 SSS personnel. The children of the U.S. president are guarded by not more than 2 or 3 Secret Service personnel. Not like you have a mobile barrack after one. No, it doesn't. It's not done in that manner. It's not about, for me now, it's not about ensuring the president's son's safety. It's about giving the president's son a bragging right to say, at the day now, don't you know who we are? I mean, that's how I say it. It's not about ensuring the guy's safety.
All right, let's move on this morning quickly. Now, yesterday the Senate screened more ambassadorial nominees. Okay, yeah, you can, the phone lines are open. You can be a part of the conversation this morning. I can already see some comments on our Facebook fan page, and I'll take them in due course. But you can call in 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. These are the numbers to call to be a part of the conversation this morning. I'll take the numbers again: 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-3333-893. This is the best time to call, because once it's about 7:28, we're not going to be able to take calls anymore. All right. Yesterday, the Senate screened more ambassadorial nominees, and there was a little bit of drama when a career nominee from Ekiti State, Emmanuel Adeyemi, who couldn't name one of the senators from his... He came and said, the 2 senators representing Ekiti State, and there was a lot of... But I'm not even going to that. That for me is just theatrics.
Okay.
It would seem that during the course of the nomination, there was still the bow and go thing. Why is it normal?
It is not normal. If anybody is going to represent your country, you must ensure that this is a person of competent integrity and knowledge as regards the workings of the country. The guy from Ekiti yesterday, in my opinion, shot himself in the head, not even in the foot, in the head. He made a very, very, very rookie mistake by saying the 2 senators from my state.
When he was asked to name the 3rd one, his aide tried to search on Google, and people were very angry.
The truth of the matter is that I will blame him and I will blame the senators.
Why?
You would expect someone like that to at least know that there are 3 senators from each state in the country. That is it. in my opinion, you would expect someone like that to know that.
Or to have done his research, because he's the one that actually started
said,
with
that,
mentioning the senators from
that
his
is why
area.
I said he was the one who brought up the topic.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam. Your name and where you're calling
This is
from?
Adenike from Muslim.
Oh, good morning,
Concerning
Adenike.
the 4 trillion set aside for unpaid contractor, I think the federal government should please do the needful on this. At least this will even
Hello.
the burden of the people that they are with. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. To pay the contractors.
You said I would like to, pay homage to the 2 senators, and I was like, "Are you kidding me?" But and they took advantage of that. What I'm trying to say here is this: there are some things. There are some questions that we have heard from the hallowed chamber being put towards nominees before them. Things like recite the national anthem and recite the pledge and name of this. That's idiotic.
What do you think would be the prime questions to
test
be
the
asked?
person's knowledge of the country, natural resources that the country has, things that you can
Because that's
go
what they're going
outside
to
go and
defend out
market.
there.
That is it. Not the name of one guy that may not be there tomorrow. I mean, that's of no value as far as I'm concerned.
Now, the big surprise that came yesterday was when one of the nominees, whose name was apparently not even slated to be, was told to take a bow and go. This bow and go syndrome is really worrisome.
There is no way any logical person can defend that. Even if the person were to be your son, put the person on the spotlight. I mean, what do you know? How do you intend to represent this country when you get there? I understand that the guy who said 2 senators is actually a very brilliant guy.
So we heard that. I read his credentials.
What I still cannot understand, which in my opinion is actually unforgivable, is the fact that 2 senators from my state. No.
Well, let's forgive him.
No,
just like someone stood up for him.
We need to school him. Actually, we need to
him.
school him. It's not just you are not going there to represent a foreign country. You are going there to represent Nigeria. So you must understand the workings and structure of this country. 3 senators. That's the standard. It's only the FCT that has 1 senator.
All right. Let's move on to other things this morning quickly as we take a look at more headlines. Yes, there's this particular headline which was a major headline on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. It's about the fight against terror, and it says banditry noose tightened around Turji. The story says the army appears to be closing in on notorious bandit commander Bello Turji, who has been terrorizing Sokoto State and its environs. This follows the killing of one of his allies, Kachala Kalamo. Daily Trust gathered that troops of the 8th Division of the Nigerian Army killed the notorious bandit commander, Kachala Kalamo, during a major offensive operation in Sabon Birnin local government area of Sokoto State. A reliable military source who confirmed the development on Wednesday said the operation was carried out in collaboration with local vigilante groups in the early hours of Monday around Kurawa village. The troops also eliminated one of the major logistics suppliers to the terror kingpins. Bello Turji was gathered. There's so many names related to Bello Turji, but Bello Turji has not been killed. Does it seem that ever since this renewed calls for a stop to insecurity, that the army there's a word I picked here, offensive, so it means that it wasn't a reactionary movement. Does it seem better?
No, the truth of the matter is that, thankfully you are seated just in front of a computer. That is the word they have been using for years now. Offensive. What is the result of offensive, Shani? When bad boys started to infiltrate Niger State, in fact, let me start with Kebbi State. Oh, they said don't be offended. They are fleeing Zamfara State as a result of the offensive actions that we are.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, this beautiful radio woman.
Good morning to you, Mr. Mario. You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
good morning, Mr. Tony. Good morning, sir.
Morning, sir.
Yes, sir. Now, the issue is this. I think I'm talking about Sheyi Tinubu and the allegation levied against him by Professor Wole Soyinka.
Allegation?
Sorry, can you call it an allegation? Okay, sorry.
What the professor said, yes, please go ahead.
What the professor said against Sheyi Tinubu. See, In the history of this country, we have never had it that the son of a sitting president has enjoyed a privilegious lifestyle, such as the one Sheikh Tinubu is currently enjoying. I watched on a video yesterday, online yesterday, of a footage of the envoys that follow Sheikh Tinubu whenever he's going out. And I was telling the person that was watching with me, I said, is this a government that is moving on or a minister? Because it's so amazing. Even like someone said, Mr. Lalekon that said it, that it is the US, in US, the son of the president is being guided by just 2 secret services. And that is all. But in this country, we waste money on those that have been guarding the son. Just ordinary son of the sitting president is not done anywhere. And I think that has to be checkmate. And secondly, on the issue of the project that you started with, see, Tinubu is somebody that let me say, he has so many things on his neck. And he has, in 2027 election, so many things I want to stand against him in 2027. And such is the issue of these giving out projects are not paying. Because when you give a project to someone to go and execute, some of those project handlers, they live on bank loan. They resort to bank loan because some of them, they go to the bank and their company might be the collateral or their house or whatever, and they will take huge loans in billions to fund this project, and expecting that the government will pay them at the end of the day. But when you don't pay them, it will be a kind of a kind of sniffing life out of those project handlers, because one, they want to pay the bank, and like I always tell you, Mr. Lalekon, no bank will ever give you a loan and leave you alone. The bank will not give you a loan, LOAN, and leave you alone, ALONE. It's not done. And once you don't pay the bank back at a due time, then the loan will be yielding interest. At the end of the day, it will become a kind of a backlog of loan to repay to the bank. So in a nutshell, what I'm saying is that let the government and those in charge, let them pay those guys. So that
does that also include the option of the government borrowing, to pay them back?
Well, no, they don't have to borrow, because if the government can look inward, there are so many, like what Oduekun said a while ago, that Nigeria has money. We have stupid and bastard money in this country. And let me give you an insight. Man. Just on mining alone, I once said it on that feed, that Nigeria is losing $9 billion annually on mining alone, which is being handled by the activities is being done by foreigners, and they are enjoying the money. But if the government of the day can look into that direction, mining alone, we are losing $9 billion, no, is it billion? Even not $9 trillion in a year. If that has been converted to the coffers of the government, it's something that can be used to settle the backlog of loan that we have in the country.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mari. We have to go now.
Thank you very much.
Apologies. Thank you so much. And also to Mr. Mario and our dear listeners, the S word and the B word are not acceptable on Wells Radio 89.3 FM. You know that we preach wholesome content, and these are unwholesome words that we definitely do not want our listeners to hear. But thank you so much. We value your contribution. Mr. Sani, we don't have much time on the show anymore. Before we, go, Nigeria, there's this headline about Nigeria and Burkina Faso over the detained aircrafts. Let me get your thoughts.
I think Burkina Faso needs to calm down. They need to drink a cup of water and calm down. I did my own independent research, and there is hardly a reason for them to detain that aircraft.
And the soldiers?
Yes.
They said they weren't informed.
They were not supposed to be informed because the flight was not even supposed to land on Burkinabe soil.
But they were going.
It was moving from Lagos to Portugal, and there was, some bad things that were supposed to happen to. The flight was not. The plane developed some faults along the line, and in international aviation standard, the thing you do is that you stop at the nearest airport, which was what they did. I mean, in all seriousness, in the spirit of African brotherhood, they should have assisted them. What you did?
Now we're still in African brotherhood. Don't forget that Burkina Faso is now under
well, the truth of the matter is
military
that we share the same skin pigment. If they now want to segregate between ECOWAS and AES, it's all left to them. But what I'm saying here is this: someone like me cannot be the president, and Burkina Faso will do that.
Does this also make us look at the fact that the influence that Nigeria has on other African countries will be waning?
It has with that totally. Nobody, no president could have done that under President Sani Abacha or Biomano. There is nobody that can try that. Not even under Obasanjo, not even under Yar'Adua.
All right, this is how far we can go. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani. I
always
believe
an honor
that
to
every other conversation will come on the but sports is coming up next. Delere coming up to give you the latest stories in the world of sports. That's how far we can go. Thank you so much to everyone who called. Miriam Yetunde, I didn't read out your comment, but thank you so much for your comment on Facebook. My name is Bolanle Oduekun.